Have you ever stopped to wonder what humanity's original job description was? I mean, not just why we exist, but what our actual designated role in the universe was supposed to be? Well, today we're diving into a theological framework that tells an epic story, a story of incredible authority given, a kingdom stolen, and a truly audacious plan to win it all back. And this is the question, right? The one the entire story hinges on. It all kicks off in this perfect garden, with a mission given to the very first man, Adam. But, as we all know, the story takes a hard left turn. And this isn't just some simple story about a forbidden apple. No, this is the story of a hostile takeover with cosmic-level stakes. So, to really get what was lost, we first have to wrap our heads around what was given. Adam wasn't just some gardener, In the view we're exploring today, he was entrusted with a really unique and powerful kind of authority, a very specific kind of dominion over all of creation. Okay, stewardship, interim, vicarious dominion. I know, that is a mouthful. But stick with me because that one phrase is the master key to this whole narrative. It perfectly describes the kind of power Adam had. See, it wasn't his to own. It was more like a secret trust, something he was holding for the true heir. Let's break that down. It really had three main parts. First up, stewardship. Adam was a manager, not an owner. His authority was totally dependent on him following God's rules. Second, it was interim, which just means temporary. He was basically just keeping the throne warm until the rightful owner, the son, showed up. And third, it was vicarious. This means he was acting on behalf of the son, kind of like his representative. It was a borrowed power. So Adam has this incredible but very conditional authority. And this right here is where the conflict starts. This framework sees the fall of man not as just a simple mistake, but as the actual theft of a kingdom. You can think of it like a caretaker who betrays the owner of a vineyard and just seizes it for himself. And get this. Centuries later, this claim to the stolen kingdom pops up again. When Satan is tempting Jesus out in the wilderness, he says, "All this has been delivered to me," and then offers him all the kingdoms of the world. Now, according to this view, that's not just an empty boast. It's a claim of ownership, one based on the authority Adam handed over the moment he chose to obey Satan instead of God. The stewardship was transferred, the keys were handed over. And this right here shows you the staggering consequences. The world that was supposed to be a peaceful garden governed by God's law became, under this new rule, a brutal battlefield of survival, a place run by force and by lies. The stewardship that was meant to be held in trust for the son was now claimed by a usurper who planned on keeping it forever. And this, of course, brings us to the elephant in the room, the biggest question of all. If God is all-powerful, why didn't he just step in and stop it? Why allow this theft to happen? Why let his creation suffer under a tyrant? Well, the framework we're looking at suggests that God's silence wasn't inaction. It was a deliberate, strategic patience. I mean, let's really think about that for a second. It's the classic problem of evil, right? If God has all the power to stop suffering and injustice, why does he let it happen? This particular framework offers a pretty profound and maybe even a challenging answer. The argument goes like this. By allowing Satan's role to play out, God was actually setting the stage for a much bigger purpose. First, to let the entire universe see the true, ugly result of a world without his law. Second, to prove that his commands aren't just arbitrary rules, but they are the very fabric of life itself. And maybe most importantly, it was to create the exact conditions needed to demonstrate his love in the most powerful way you could ever imagine. And through that, to truly complete his creation. And all of this, every bit of it, is building towards the story's climax, the cross. Now, in this view, the cross is not a plan B. It's not some desperate reaction to Adam's failure. It was the intended centerpiece of the entire creative project from the very, very beginning. So here's the crucial point, and it's a big one. This framework suggests that Adam's fall, while totally his own choice, was actually foreseen and woven into God's plan. It became the very means by which God would achieve something way more profound than simple, untested obedience ever could, a truly perfected creation. But why? Why was it necessary? Well, the reasoning is that the only thing that can permanently remove the possibility of sin from a creature with free will is a true, deep understanding of love. And the ultimate demonstration of that love required the ultimate sacrifice.
The cross was God showing, not just telling, the incredible depth of his love, and by doing that, reconciling all of creation back to himself.
So you see, the grand objective was never a world of obedient robots. It was a family who could freely choose to love their creator because they'd seen both the devastating alternative and the incredible cost of that love. All the suffering that was allowed in that stolen vineyard became the very fire that forged this unbreakable bond. And this is where it all lands, the end game, the restoration of everything. The promise isn't just about getting back to the Garden of Eden, it's about creating something even greater, a new reality where God and humanity live together, not because of some command, but because of a proven, tested, and freely returned love. The dominion is finally reclaimed by its rightful heir and then shared with his people. And so, I'll leave you with a final thought, one that really gets to the core of this whole narrative. It kind of challenges our simple ideas about what perfect means. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, a truly perfect world isn't one that's never known struggle, but one that has overcome it through a love demonstrated by the ultimate sacrifice. It's a huge idea to think about, isn't it?